Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to LCK Spring 2020. I'm Atlas, this is still LS, and we're here for our final matchup of the night. Afreeca taking on Hanwha Life Esports, and it feels a little bit like we've saved the best till last, because it's Hanwha that came off the back of a win against T1, and Afreeca Freecs, our darlings of the Kesper Cup, able to stomp their way through there, but the only team able to take a game was this squad right here.
Any truers?
Yeah. I don't know. Are there? Let me check.
There probably is some truers. Absolutely. I
reckon there's some truers in the chat.
Yeah, there's probably some truers. Okay, so, Hanwha Life, they have had the most interesting drafts in the LCK and also some pretty good ones. Also, the willingness
to pick Soraka. Yeah, sorry, I got a little bit excited, but thankfully, Cube has demonstrated to us that that champion is damn good, actually.
Yeah.
So, good to see that the meta has actually been studied from these guys. Let's go into the points of the match to see exactly what we're in for, according to the LCK broadcast. The Kesper Cup quarterfinal rematch, exactly like we were talking about only moments ago, the only team to break the perfect run.
Yeah.
Well, see whether they can actually win a best of 3 here, because taking one game ain't going to do it.
It has been a lot of time, and for a team that is trying to conduct themselves the way that Hanwha Life is doing, that amount of time is actually very important and necessary. So, the other point about any lane can carry Afreeca Prince.
Well, like this is a great point, because we were talking about this. Keen did not carry that game.
No, Keen actually, he was, you know, it was finally like, probably surprised he was living in the Twilight Zone as he was able to take a step back.
And this is against Sword, too, a lane that we were expecting him to just dominate,
and, you know, interestingly enough, Sword actually looks like one of the best players on Griffin.
Yeah.
In that
and Tarzan
series.
fell off a cliff.
Yeah, Tarzan became George of the jungle.
Yeah.
So we don't...
Going from a king to George.
Yeah.
Depending on which George.
Diddy can't really let himself go. Well,
I don't know enough about, you know, kingly heritage to know whether there was a king. There was a King George, wasn't there? There was a few.
I know there's a King Richard.
Yeah, okay.
King Richard's fair.
Yeah.
They have that in New England as key player.
Yeah, thankfully we have been re-railed by Mystic, who does not have hair of that color anymore, but he does have the skills on Ashe. I love that he debuts into the LCK playing his most iconic pick that he played all throughout his time on WE. He was a joy to watch there and was a joy to watch on the Ashe in their previous matchup against Griffin. Was in fact probably the player that had probably the best moment, I think, so far this week in the LCK. I think that Ashe kiting and control was just spectacular in the game-winning team fight. And on the side of Gen G, sorry, not Gen G anymore, on the side of Hanwha Life, it is Haru that we're highlighting. He's been playing the Diana jungle. He got the Diana ban out as well after that. Was one of our losses on Elise, but it's only Pyoshik that can play that champion apparently, as he's the only man to have actually picked up a victory. Afreeca will start off on the blue side, but let's listen to some trash talk.
아프리카라는 팀 방어를 많이 한다. 가드를 올리고 탑 캐리를 기다리는
시야적인 부분이나 이제 포지션이라든가 싸울 타이밍을 정한다던가 되게 LCK답다 생각했어요.
충분히 이길 수 있었던 것 같은데 다시 만나면 잘 해낼 수 있을 것 같아요.
한화생명 같은 경우는 엄청 변화무쌍한 팀인 것 같아요.
서로 잘 뭉쳐다니는 약간 5명 합이 잘 맞는
그런 틀에 얽매이지 않고 좀 자기들만의 뱀픽으로 하는 것 같았어요.
감독 코치님들은 기존 틀을 좀 깨치는 걸 원하셔서
저희 스타일로 만들어보고자 합니다. 확실히 그게 정로철 코치님 스타일인 것 같아요. 다양한 시도를 하고 뭐 피지컬로만 게임하는 그런 느낌이 많이 드는데
저희는 그 플레이의 단점을 좀 알아서 잘 대처할 수도 있지 않을까요?
인 선수만 잡으면 이기는 팀.
아래쪽으로 하려고 하는데 기인이가 뭐 잘해서 탑 차이 나서 그런 게 아닌가 싶습니다.
아무래도 탑은 뭐 정글러가 잘 해줘야지 이길 수 있으니까 저도 하루만 믿고 있습니다.
성진이 형이 판을 잘 만들어 놓으면 가져야죠.
이제 큐베 선수는 좀 혼자 하는 걸 좋아하는 약간 그런 선수인 것 같아요.
젠지에서는 큐베 선수가 그런 이미지가 있었는데 같이 연습해보니까 캐리력도 있고 믿음직한 탑솔러 같아요.
저희는 기인이가 있는데 상대가 됩니까?
내가 올라가면 되죠. 기인 잡으러 가겠습니다.
아니, 뭐 저는 그냥 잘 도망 다니겠습니다.
아이돌이던데요, 완전. 하나생명.
아이돌. 사실.
저도 솔직히 많이 달라가지고 좀 놀라긴 했는데 이렇게 화제될 줄은 좀 몰랐어요.
저희 프린스 4인방을 이길 수가 없어요, 하나생명은.
아, 저희가 외모나 게임 둘 다 이긴 것 같은데요.
저 외모 대결은 무조건 아프리카 압승입니다. 경기는 저희가 이겨야죠.
기인이가 그냥 얼굴도 이기고 라인전도 이겨버릴 겁니다.
제가 처음 주전으로 하는 거고 그전에는 경기를 많이 못 보여드렸는데 상위권 경쟁이 가능한 선수라고 그런 인식으로 바뀌었으면 좋겠어요.
작년 썸머 때 제가 경기를 한 경기도 못 나갔는데 정로철 코치님이 그때 틀렸다 이런 거를 보여드리고 싶어서 이기겠습니다. 제가 나간다면 한 세트도 지지 않을 것 같습니다. 목표예요.
그냥 뭐 하던 대로만 해도 알아서 아래쪽에서 이겨줄 거라고 생각합니다.
이기고 싶으면 다현이를 꺾어봐라.
한 번 당하면 휘둘릴 수도 있을 것 같은데 그 한 번 안 당하게 잘 조심해야 될 것 같아요.
기인 잡으러 가겠습니다. 기인 기다려라!
I think that was mostly a beauty contest and
That,
not actually trash
yeah,
talk.
See, every single time they call these segments trash talk, I feel like they've never tuned into a Western trash talk.
Yeah, exactly.
That
because
is-
these guys are just complimenting each other over and over again.
It's really, it is weird that
Yeah.
the segment is titled trash talk, but there's actually, you want to hear trash talk?
Well, let's see whether they can put their money where their mouth is on the Rift instead of trying to say nice things to each other to put them off at the beginning of the game, which seems to be what most of our LCK teams have decided trash talk is all about. Having a look at the squads making their way out, it is indeed Spirit that's going to be helming the jungle for Afreeca, and Mystic is starting this time around. No double S to confuse me with how to say his name correctly, because it has to be double S.
Yes.
Instead of just saying the letter twice.
Yeah.
Which can be rough. But it is Mystic. That one's an easy one.
I was looking up during the key player point. Blue hair does mean Super Saiyan God. Now, I don't know
Right, good. Good.
if going from yellow hair to blue hair means that he's leveling up sort of like a Super Saiyan.
I'm pretty sure that's what it means. Because
Maybe
we
that
saw
actually
his
is,
Super
yeah.
Saiyan performance on the Ashe
'Cause
in his first match.
original hair color is black,
Yeah.
just like Goku and Vegeta and Gohan.
Yeah. And
Then he bleaches it,
Mhm.
went Super Saiyan. Now he's Super Saiyan God.
Well, let's just hand them the trophy now, I guess. I don't know. I mean, aiming, he skipped a step. How did
Well,
he
we're
go
waiting
from...
for a fusion.
That's
we need
what it
to,
is.
Yeah, aiming skipped a step. He sort of cheated like Vegeta did in GT, but that's not canon. So
that's
we're
not
not gonna talk about
I mean, he also got to like a just monkey stage, and I didn't really understand what that was about. And
Yeah,
they were
he-
in space,
yeah,
I think. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it.
I watched some of that, but it was very
let's
late at night.
Not go there.
I was pretty confused.
You know, yeah, GT. Good try. No, that's what I'm gonna give for that one.
Not gutter trash. Not-
Gutter
we're not
trash?
quite there yet.
Well, I was trying to do the LCK trash talk,
Oh yeah.
so
Yeah. So you can't go with
Good try.
That's too much. Good try. Nice work. I think you guys will have a good day, but you will lose. Okay. That's what we're saying.
I hope that it rains when it's cloudy.
I hope you forget your umbrella on Wednesday. Okay, Afreeca Freecs. Starting off on our blue side, we'll see what they're going to ban to start this one out. We expect some ingenious things from this draft from the Hanwha Life side.
Yeah.
We'll see how much Afreeca decide to sin in this particular ban phase. Is the Diana, the first one to be taken away from Haru, his secret source.
Alice, before we jump into breaking down the draft here, though, I do just want to hit you with some trash talk. I hope that your ice cream melts.
Whoa.
Yeah. Just wanted to throw that out there.
You know what? I am very diligent about putting my ice cream in the refrigerator.
I don't want to hear it.
Well, in the freezer section of the refrigerator.
Don't want to hear it. What I do want to hear is how this draft's going to turn out.
Well, is
I guess I don't hear that. I see that.
well,
so it's a little
Set's
bit
going to get
different.
banned.
Yeah.
So do you know what we're doing an on first pick?
Okay.
It's happening.
I hope so.
Because Elise or something is going to be banned here.
Yeah, something that, you know.
Or Ash.
Okay, Ash.
Let's
Gonna
just
be
ban Ash.
banned away. Now, Yuumi
Wait.
isn't the entire problem. There's other enchanters or mages. I just basically I just say mage to cover them all, but
Oh,
there's
Spirit.
other enchanters available. Spirit now gonna pick up the Elise. He's ready to sin.
Oh, Rumble Aphelios. I love it already out of this draft. The
Rumble can go bot
multiple,
lane.
he can go every lane.
Yes.
He can actually just go
Oh
in
yeah,
every
he
position.
can. He can.
Yeah.
Rumble is a 5-role flex champion, and when he's paired down in bottom lane, usually it is accompanied by the Soraka. And now Pantheon Elise is very scary. Pantheon Elise can also tank turrets for years, juggling aggro with the Pantheon E as well as the Elise Repel. It is a lot more obnoxious, although not quite as much upfront sheer burst as the Renekton Elise, but definitely a lot more utility, which I personally like.
I also really like the AD carry being locked down here. That was going to be the next role that was going to be pinched, meaning that the Misfortune was going to be disabled from Mystic, and he can't go towards his favorite pick in the Ashe. Jarvan just going to be locked down. Of course, Jarvan and Rumble, constant synergy, and does keep the Rumble flexing throughout a whole bunch of different roles. Also a favorite pickup for Haru, of course, but there's no jungler that can't play J4. So now we're looking at the support position as far as Hanwha Life is concerned, trying to get rid of some of those good Misfortune options. Expect Leona to be the next ban after the Blitzcrank. Now, Afreeca Freecs, where are they going to decide to go? As maybe some comfortable mid lane options could be the next ones to be taken, or the
Soraka
away from Cuvee.
Well, Soraka does end up biting the dust, and I'm going to call this one a wrap here, Atlas. You got this for the rest of the game.
It's just over?
Yeah, I'm going to go take a nap while you handle this one. Soraka's been banned, so...
Yeah, I mean, what's the point of you being here, really?
I mean, honestly, at this point.
With all of these Morellonomicons running around the Rift, the amount of forbidden books still being purchased from the shops somehow, the black market, it's just too difficult to pick the Soraka, you know? It must be. But given it enough respect, there's 3 seconds to go. Ban something, Afreeca. You probably should do that. Mordekaiser taken off the board.
Mord taken off the board is a bit surprising as the last pick, especially because the Pantheon is able to be flexed 3 lanes, mid, top, and support.
And the
can go
order is
down
still available.
Into the support position. Because of the support item changes, he's able to get to that Black Cleaver or a lethality item really quickly.
This is a really scary draft from Hanwha.
Hanwha
already.
Life
Like, this has got everything.
Identifying what is going on. Afreeca opens B1 Elise. Hanwha Life respond R1, R2, Rumble, Aphelios, Rumble is a quadra flex at that point. Well, actually, technically still a 5-man flex. Aphelios can go top lane.
Flex, yeah.
And then when Pantheon and Misfortune come in, Jarvan comes in as a mid-rangey kind of off-tank champion, most likely going to end up inside of the jungle, although he's able to be flexed also to multiple roles. Primarily only top and mid, support less likely. And then Ornn comes in on R4 to give that insane late-game scaling, and Afreeca is pure sin.
Yeah, they are sinning really hard. Of course, Keen is a great cannon player, always has been, but I liked him more when the AD on hit cannon was more of a thing.
Yes, when he had more options.
Yeah, when he was able to play as that split push bully that you needed multiple people to be able to take him down. It is going to be the Thresh locked in the end for Lehens. He's not going to go back to his Shen or anything like that. It's going to be a very comfortable draft, but I'm giving it to Hanwha here. Their draft has multiple modes, as our friend LS would say. They held on to flexibility until the very end. They can still flex now, moving on and Rumble between the lanes.
Yes. And the thing is that Hanwha Life, they have such good scaling with the ornaments. Rumble, most likely going to get a Zanya's Hourglass or a Rabadon's Death Cap, depending on how the game is going for him. And that'll be his Ornn upgrade. Black Cleaver, most likely the Ornn upgrade for Jarvan. Aphelios obviously gets the Infinity Edge. Thresh the Redemption.
Yeah, so many options here.
If they get ahead, there's no coming back for Afreeca. So, Afreeca, they're going to be on a bit of a time limit this game. They have good lanes to try to get ahead with, and obviously the Pantheon is going to be a treat.
Yeah, this is the thing that we've got to look at, because Elise right now can have a field day. We know Pantheon Elise, you've already spoken about it. It's a incredibly difficult duo to deal with no matter where they are. And Elise has a gankable lane everywhere, especially if Marks of the Storm can be reliably gathered from Keen up towards the top side. But when you're expecting something from Keen, generally expect that it is going to work out. So Spirit sort of has pick of the litter where it comes to where to go. We don't even need to talk about Nautilus. The guy is a CC machine. So opportunities for Afreeca, but they need to get this game done and dusted at about 28 minutes. Otherwise, there's just a likelihood that war of attrition states that Hanwha Life win the game. And here we are onto the Rift for game number 1, Afreeca versus Hanwha Life Esports. Hanwha were able to take one game off Afreeca. It was the only loss they suffered throughout the entirety of the Kesper Cup. And now it might be the first loss of their LCK split as well, being the last remaining undefeated team here in the LCK.
Now, one of the things that I don't particularly like, but we'll have to see what he does with it, is the teleport on Pantheon. That strikes me as very strange, because Pantheon, in the later stages of the game, he's always with his team anyway.
And
because
also
the Grand
Skyfall.
Drop.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the Grand Skyfall just covers so much range anyway that he's always with you in split push, and that's often how you want Pantheon to enter the team fights anyway, is via the Grand Skyfall. So, a little bit strange that it's not an Ignite.
Well, we'll see what he's going to do. Just going to be able to get around the map a little bit more reliably. He, of course, did play the Pantheon in, I believe, their first game against Griffin. But honestly, the games didn't feel comfortable for Afreeca. It wasn't like a 2-0 demolition of Griffin in any way, shape, or form. And actually, Griffin found themselves inroads in multiple different occasions, and then had the game stolen away from them almost twice in a row.
Yes. Griffin almost won those games. And it was very akin to what Hanwha Life is trying to do here today with the better scaling, much more power in their punch come mid-game. And if Ken and Elise and Pantheon don't get ahead, it's going to have to try to be the Mystic Show one more time, and he's going to need to go Super Saiyan God to carry this one.
Right now, he is certainly on a champion that he can do so. And we saw, Deft's Misfortune performance on the game that they just won in the matchup earlier. We know that her damage potential in the late game is extremely high. Tempt got a little bit frustrated by those minions, but Flamespitter didn't troll him too much in the last two. Getting a few of those is Vista running on away here. My first cast of good old Vista, who's making his way into the 80 carry position after being a sub support. Not entirely sure what's going on there, because their flexing of lava towards the bottom side I thought was really, really cool. Just not going to be a thing that they're going to continue with. It's likely that Cuvée is going to be just fine in this lane. He's on. And therefore, what happens in the laning phase basically doesn't matter. Please, Keen, just get it CS. Oh my goodness. There we go.
Well,
missed that one too. He's getting trolled by this Q a lot.
He did miss one, so I feel like it might be about time that he starts considering North America.
Yeah, I think so.
As the place to go. Getting 18 out of 19, it's just not quite good enough.
I didn't see the money coming up for like most of them, so
that's sarcasm.
Maybe I'm just losing my mind. Okay, yeah.
I mean, that's fine.
He's still winning. He's still got a lot more of the minions that Cuvée has, but the minion wave is sitting underneath this turret.
Yep.
As our Spirit, this is the man that we've all got to have our eyes on. If you're an Afreeca fan,
he's up 2 camps right now.
You look at Spirit's score, and that will tell you, come 20 minutes, whether Afreeca can possibly win.
Oh, nice dodge
really
by
nice
Vista, who, again, is a support main.
Yeah.
So not every day that you have support mains that actually jump into the carry positions.
Well, he's doing so pretty comfortably by the looks of things at the moment. As Keen not going to get knocked up that time. Lightning Rush pretty good. One of those Mark of the Storm still hanging out here as the W comes back up. Bellows Breath just to avoid being stunned by that Mark of the Storm. But Keen's health bar has been whittled well and truly.
Keen has to be really careful. He's 1 Q away from actually being put into Ornn lethal range. So if Ornn would to just land 1 Q, the next Q with E and W follow-up would execute the cannon. So definitely a balancing act right now where Ornn is doing actually fine because Cube hasn't built an item.
Oh no, there's the flash play. In comes the Jarvan, and that should be first blood. Going over to Hanwha Life, and it's Vista that picks it up of all people. Maybe just taking a double here as the Cube. Will it come back off cooldown? Haru just stabs him. There we go, Hanwha Life 2-0 already, and it has gone from bad to worse already.
Cube backing up, building an item. Let's see what it's actually going to be first. It will be the Negatron to give him the duality against the jungle and the top laner. So definitely a very good purchase right there instead of the Ruby Crystal.
Well, you saw Spirit up there just trying to give Cube a little bit of a love tap, but otherwise not too much of an issue. We're going to have a look at this one more time.
Yeah.
Gravitum, just a pretty good gun.
Yeah, it was just such a nice setup right there. Nice lantern in by Lahen's. Haru just coming in, a really quick pickup. And then Vlad the Impaler right at the very end here. There you go, right there. Just like Longinus.
All too easy. It's Tempt. He's just farming. Doing absolutely fine in this matchup against Fly. He went back and got himself a couple of long swords, but having the arm guard, certainly very, very good.
All right, well. At this point, Pantheon not really getting ahead or able to do anything. So again, we'll have to see how this is all going to transpire. Kennen obviously going for the Vampiric Scepter, first item.
Yep, and heading towards that Bilgewater Cutlass as soon as possible. If he builds a Blade of the Rune King, that's when maybe we could start getting a little bit excited and interested in what this game is doing. Honestly, an on-hit Kennen would provide them with a split push threat, which allows them to step away from the team fight, which they're definitely going to lose. There is no way they win that against Hanwha Life. And Spirit looks for it. Lahen takes a lot of damage, but it's Haru that's in the front line. There's the Grand Skyfall as Keen looking to come in. Does have the Slicing Maelstrom. Waits for the play. And Lahen's will be the first one to go down. But Mystic grabs that kill as Vista on the back line. But he's now sort of 1 versus 4 off on the other front. They turn onto the 3. The flash forward. Vista is point blank range with the close range weaponry. And my God, is it difficult to cast Aphelios, but it's easy to see how good he is as Fly runs away wondering what the heck that champion just did.
I don't know.
Crescendum. My brain couldn't find Crescendum, okay?
I know there's one weapon that it cycles really fast relative to proximity and stuff, and I'm like, is he going to use it, Atlas?
He did use it.
And, I mean, Aladios did a lot of things in that
He did a lot of things.
It's actually hilarious.
It's so hard. Champion's so hard.
All right. So, Grand Skyfall comes in. You can see the flay went out in anticipation, but Keen holding on to it. Cube really just running into a rock right there. Not doing the most with Ornn inside of this fight, but that's fine. Aladios has a lot of answers for Afreeca. I mean, look at the champion.
At how many
look
of them
at
there
him.
are.
Fly doesn't even know what's going on right now.
I don't know what's going on right now,
And
but a
trust
lot of
me, you
damage
already know
happened.
I don't know what's going on.
Oh, we definitely know that.
Captain Flowers just probably woke up. He still doesn't know what's going on. He doesn't even know why he woke up.
It's like, oh, I still don't know. Never mind. Falls back to sleep.
Oh, man.
Well, Spirit does get Shelly. Haru's going to trade that for the Cloud Drake. Hanwha Life stacking these up, certainly a good idea, and not having the opportunity of a Cloud Soul is great for him as well. Ward goes over. Haru's taking a lot of damage, but Aladios is there, so a lot of anything is no worries.
Aladios. I'm glad that a lot of people seem to like that nickname.
Yeah, no, it's working.
It really is. Oh, man.
I think, like, when are we going to get to the point where people just start banning the damn champion? Because he's really too strong.
He got slightly nerfed in 10.3, and then I do believe they're nerfing him again in 10.4. So
we're on 10.2.
Yeah.
So he should probably be banned. Right?
Yeah, well, Kennen is in lethal right now. 750 if Cube knows the Ornn combo. All it takes is Ornn to connect 1Q, and then Kennen has no say in everything else that follows up. You land the max range Q, cast the R, and then E immediately can get all the knockups and chain it with the Bell's Breath. Kennen does not have an ability to respond, even if he tries to Lightning Rush. This won't happen.
And he doesn't have Flash, so therefore he's just dead as Mystic is going to be delivered a whole bunch of plates. Trying to stay in range to collect those, and he will be able to. There we go. Oh, it does take probably way too much damage for it. There's the ult. And oh my god, how did that even happen?
Well, you see, what I've noticed is the green item.
Calibrum is a little bit silly.
When I see the green item, I think of like a very rapidly expanding forest, like those shots in Hollywood movies.
Ah, yes.
And then I just think like, wow, he's like a hawk.
Yeah.
You know, and he just...
It is because the auto comes out if you use the Calibrum, if you use the ultimate, the Moonlight Vigil, then it gets marked.
Okay,
and
well,
you can,
Cube
hit him from
does
everywhere.
not know what is going on right now.
Yes, he does. He knows that he's about to die.
Well,
as
he
we
just
missed
used
the
heal,
Q.
and... Okay. Cube had no idea that he was in
Too
lethal.
easy.
So the joke was on him.
Yeah.
Pantheon puts up his shield at the end. Now, this does come at a cost, though. Pantheon is missing out on some of the minions, however, Spirit is there to pick them up. That was about, what, 80 gold worth of minions, and also the plate, so you factor that in, it's 200. Kill up in top lane was worth 450. So, it's still a net positive for Afreeca, and obviously now Afreeca is also, well, okay, I guess the minions balanced it out, and then the plate, so that's the big picture.
All right, Keen got a plate. Is it worth his life, is the question. As Vista's here.
Ooh.
Yeah, we don't have the flash, so Keen is definitely dead. Takes a little bit longer than you'd otherwise expect, but 3's going to be the charm. Haru's down here towards the bottom side, but what can a Jarvan do against Jelly and Mystic here? It looks like his answer is going to be quite a lot, as Mystic has to flash to get out of the way. Not going to need the bullet time, uses it now, gets the stopwatch. Jelly going to follow suit as the Ornhorn not going to do it, and it's good flash to get him off this one.
What?
Spirit now looking for Haru. Doesn't find the cocoon though, as now we're just looking for another minion wave. Fly is down here as well. I feel like this Pantheon in the early game has been working out. He's just needing to be in too many places at once right now. As Tempt, oh no. Is the stun going to land? No, it's not.
Well, he has Cleanse, so they would have to land both, but they wouldn't be able to kill Rumble through both.
Yeah.
So
what that was is Fly waiting for the cocoon to land, so the cleanse comes, and then
you do the Pantheon chain.
stun.
Yeah. It wouldn't end up killing Rumble, but it would, for the most part, delete him from the lane. Yeah, he has the Seeker's Arm Guard.
Yeah, and
has the Ruby Crystal.
The cleanse that gives you a bunch of tenacity as well, so not going to be super helpful as Keen. He gets the ward spot. That's a good one. I learnt that from Ejim, professional LCK commentator, whose greatest achievement thus far is not commentating the LCK.
Hopefully we have him by week 4.
Yeah, we're gonna need him relatively soon, because otherwise lost sanity is going to well and truly be out of sanity.
I'm gonna become likely senile.
Yeah.
At the end of it. As I was talking on stream actually about how insanely hard this actually is.
Yeah, it's tough.
This is not just showing up and talking about video games. That's what I think most people tend to think that it is, but it's not. You gotta keep trying to look at everything that's happening on the screen, keep up with what does it actually mean, what are all the champs trying to do, but then also talking non-stop.
What it means
is
in
actually
reality,
really taxing on the throat.
Yeah, what it means in reality is that you just have to keep your brain on more than it normally is for an extremely extended period of time, which is taxing to anyone, right? And it just might seem like we're dudes having a good time talking about video games, which we are, of course.
I mean, you know, and
to a certain extent, but it does take a little bit more than just that.
We get to talk about the really important things, and then sometimes about the game.
Yeah.
You know, like that. Sometimes the gameplay interrupts us.
And also, oh, that was Keen getting a great stun to stop Cuvée from getting that cannon creep. Love it. I hate it when players miss cannon creeps, but I love it when players deny cannon creeps.
Yep.
Oh, stunning.
It is.
Because sometimes it's just player error.
Now,
by sometimes I mean a lot of the time.
Okay, now this is a very tanky Ornn.
Yeah. The Horn comes out, gets the double knocker, just alleviates the lane of its minions.
I don't know what they're trying to do there because Ornn has Abyssal Mask, and they know that Thresh is on a reset, so he could be in close proximity. There's no way to kill Ornn there. With the items that they currently have, he's just way too tanky.
Well, we've just given up on the bottom lane entirely here, if you're Afreeca Freecs. Infernal Rift is coming out. That's a great repel from Spirit, as they're trying to stop him from taking the lantern. Oh, that auto attack, it's not going to be enough as Jelly's going to burn down. Tempt arrives at exactly the right time, and Fly does not. Felt like it was an inevitable thing, but Afreeca still opting into it.
So even though Cube tried to give them an opportunity to kill him, they still couldn't at the very end?
Eladios is on 5-0 on 1.
Eladios is doing a lot of things. He's about to have a lot of items when he recalls. So
Yeah.
let's take a look at this. This is the replay. The charge completely whiffs. Everything comes out, and honestly, if Jelly just cast his Ignite, Ornn was dead. So even mid-Lantern travel, all Jelly would have to do is place his mouse cursor over him, hit the D key, and he would have died. It would have been a 1-for-1, which I have no idea what Cube is doing. This is actually 3 times now in this game. The one time northwest of the Dragon Pit, where he missed the ultimate, eat into a wall, didn't do anything. The lack of awareness that he was in lethal against the Kennen up in top lane when Kennen went back over the threshold. And now again, getting really overconfident with Thresh in close proximity outside of, like, real turret range.
Well, now I've got another really sad story to tell you, and that's there's a Sapphire Crystal in Cube's back pocket. And,
you know, I see you've been doing some research.
Yeah, I don't want to talk to you about what that means, though.
About Frozen Fist?
Yeah, it's gonna mean some potential Frozen Fist sinning on Cube's side. Not a decision that we ever wanted to see made. Balmy Cinder would have just cleaned up all of those minions instantly, by the way, and he would have been able to collect all of them instead of missing one.
The whole thing about Balmy Cinder versus Frozen Fist is the Frozen Fist mana is negligible if you're just playing normally as is.
Yeah.
You never really look at the mana as a worthwhile upgrade. And so what you end up getting with Frozen Fist is you get the extra armor. It has more armor than the Sunfire Cape upgrade. And the problem, though, is that Sunfire Cape comes with enormous amount of HP, which increases the effectiveness of your other resistances as well, including the Immolate burn. So, obviously, Frozen Fist and Spellblade procs can do a lot of damage, the CDR, etc. I posted on Twitter the CDR differences between 33% Ornn CDR and 45%, assuming that you have the scaling CDR, you have the Cosmic Insight, and then you end up going Knight's Vow as the third item, and it is so negligible.
Yeah.
We are talking about microseconds. And for a champion that is repositioning, he's not always casting his abilities immediately off cooldown. He's trying to wiggle a little bit, do something. And so applicability is a really important thing when evaluating items, because sometimes just straight up stats don't really tell you a full picture.
And it also depends on what the stats are on which champion as well, because Ornn had his shield removed. And armor becomes more effective when you have a shield, because that's creating artificial health for you, and therefore you can utilize your effective health, which comes through your armor, through your magic resistance, like that. However, now, you don't get it. So he doesn't have the shield for you to worry about, and therefore health becomes much better on Ornn.
Sunfire is just such an insane upgrade. It is by far the best. You go Abyssal into Sunfire, into Kindle Gem, and then from there, once you have the CDR, you decide, do I want Knight's Vow or do I want Locket of the Iron Solari, which is then more EHP. For not just you, but your teammates as well, because Ornn's effectiveness with these items, he ends up becoming not only a tank, but a carry that can one-shot the enemy carries, and a support. So
he does a lot of things.
He's got the whole package. He truly is Santa Claus.
Yeah, they've got Eladios and they've got a lot of Ornn. It's just a lot of stuff.
I see what you did. You know what else they have?
What do they have?
They have a Rumble that did not build the Forbidden Book.
Oh my goodness.
He
built an arm guard just for laning phase?
I like what I'm seeing.
Oh
Atlas.
my goodness.
I am
Do you know what we need to see this Savant do? We need to see him build an Oblivion Orb into Void Staff.
You know who did that earlier was Grig in LCS.
Thank
you want to
so
talk
much,
about a potential player of the game?
That is player of the year already. I'm calling it now.
I also think that I saw it on I think I saw it on Bjergsen as well. I think Bjergsen ended up doing it, Oblivion into Void Staff. So really good to see that in the West, Morellonomicon sales are greatly down.
Stonks
are down. Yeah. Morellonomicon is crashing like Bitcoin did a really long time ago.
Hook lands on a Keen, and he's just dead. No stopwatch. And it was just poor positioning from Keen. He hasn't had the start to the season that he's wanted whatsoever. This is, it's only, 2,000 gold, something like that as a lead, but we're close to Infernal Soul for Hanwha Live. and they are in complete control of this map.
And we take a look at the replay, and that's just a really clean kill right there. And honestly, Hanwha Life are so far ahead. The gold graph does not speak to the volume that is their champions, their team composition, the cohesion. Talked about this last time they drafted, last time they played. It is very, very rare to get a team that drafts well in the LCK. They don't exist.
No, it doesn't.
And
it's a fake situation.
It really is. And it's a pretty hard thing to do, but this is 3 times now where they have one draft. And so,
if it wasn't for Cuvée botching the item build,
you know
everything
what?
would be
I would be really impressed. You know, I don't even know. I might make a donation next time he streams or something.
Yeah, you could give him your Twitch Prime.
Don't go too far. Yeah, okay, stop.
I can't give him my Twitch Prime.
I actually,
do
you know Weird Champ,
yeah,
right, from the LEC?
Yeah.
I actually made a deal with him, Prime for Prime.
Oh wow.
I don't have Prime.
Oh, wow, you've been advertising this for so long. Don't even have it as Cuvé's going for the 1v1. Fly moves on out of the way. The Ram does get knocked back, though. Good Q. Cuvée not with the damage enough to kill him, and realizes that there might be a whole bunch of friends on their way as Fly just trying to keep him in the area. Cuvée realizing that maybe it's time to just do some autos, and Mystic steals the kill away because he spent all that time walking down there. He may as well get something for his troubles, and does so nicely, getting more kills onto the Misfortune, a good thing. But I don't know whether this is going to be enough to actually stem the tide of this Hanwha Life game.
And Cuvée is really the only glimmer of hope right now for Hanwha Life, or, well, for Afreeca, I'm sorry, to beat Hanwha Life here in this game.
Yep.
As he is really not having the best game here today, as game number 1 is unfolding. Now, as Orin, he will bestow great items to his teammates in coming moments here. Although, no Orin items actually completed by any of the champions on the side of Hanwha Life.
Yeah, we're looking for
yet.
Zhonya's. I think that's why Attempt is fast-tracking the Zhonya's.
And Zhonya's is a really good item against the Pantheon as well as the MF. Not as good as the Rabadon's Death Cap, but it is still a pretty good upgrade, all things considered, relative to what the opponent's team composition is, so I'm not going to complain. Infinity Edge will eventually come in. That'll be given over to Eladios, and then I'm assuming that the Kindle Gem will eventually go into a Black Cleaver, which will be turned into an Obsidian Cleaver. And these are just thousands of... What does Cuvée have as his spell?
What do you mean?
Look at it.
Oh, that was the Cleanse. Oh, sorry, the Clarity, I think.
Why did he just change to a useless spell and then...
To cycle his flashback?
Just change to Ghost and activate Ghost and then get Flash. Hello?
Maybe he wanted the mana for no reason.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. He's just thirsty.
He hasn't upgraded his Frozen Fist yet. He's starved on mana.
Oh, okay.
You don't understand.
But he was just at full.
No. Don't look at the mana bar. That'll fib to you. That'll fib to you.
Thank you, Atlas. I didn't. Thank you so much.
Well, there's a reason why you're not playing in the LCK. All right. You just don't have the mindset for it. Okay. But I mean, this gold lead is shrinking. Afreeca are actually picking up plenty of gold in the side lanes around this map. Fly's got himself to a couple of items. You have an Infinity Edge and a stopwatch on Mystic. This Misfortune's actually pretty scary. Eladios is probably scarier, especially with the Crescendum that is now available. Remembered the name there. Hopefully I remember it next team fight as well.
And
got the close range combo, Severum Crescendum.
They're going to have to climb a mountain for this team fight. Cuvée does have level 13. Did he upgrade the Rumble?
The Rumble?
The Rumble item yet? I'm not actually... Oh, this
is
could
that
just
something
be a
you
pick.
can do at
That
a
is
gym
a very...
in a group?
Oh, you're talking about the Roomba?
Oh, no, that's... no, I was talking about Zumba.
Oh,
and
Zumba.
Roomba is the...
What is Roomba?
Roomba is a vacuum cleaner.
Oh, okay.
The vacuum cleaner robot.
Well, I mean,
which is what I was actually
thinking
thinking
about. Can be a
about.
vacuum cleaner.
Bit of a disaster. Let's hope this team fight can actually help us out as Jelly just finds absolutely no one. Man, drop does come in as the bullet time flies over the top. Cuvée misses absolutely everything. He just gets boxed for it. As in goes Keen. He found the Aphelios, and that's going to mean the team fight. Haru's running for his life. Took a while for the cannon to warm up, but he found it, and they're going to not even worry about the Drake? No, they are. They're going to go take the Drake and then take the Baron, most likely.
Cube doing, Atlas? He had a 3-man Ornn ultimate, a pin against the wall, and Misfortune, the succubus herself. Let's watch this one more time.
Oh my god.
Oh my, hello. Check your bank account as, where's he going?
Into the face of a bullet time. Oh god, Keen's timing and positioning though, that was just a one-team fight right there. I just love that you sounded like one of the kids out of a 90s like high school TV show. What was that, Atlas?
And the Afreeca entire squad is there right now as I really don't. I would love to actually see that replay even one more time to see if there really is something that I'm missing. Which, I mean, it is entirely possible because seeing it twice, I really couldn't wrap my head around it.
Well, Cube now has the extra cooldown reduction.
Yes.
And auto attack augmentation of his Sheen. And therefore, I think that that's going to be enough to get us over the line in the next team fight.
Quite, yes.
Yes, I think that must be how it is.
I do believe that you are. That is an accurate assessment.
Say it ain't so. Say it ain't so. Haru and Lehens just traveling around the top side like they promised Keen they would, but Keen's just going to get out of there. As the man drop comes down, look at the Cube. They've identified the weak link, and they are attacking it. That R button left a little to be desired on the Pantheon side, who looks to be building towards his Guardian Angel as item number 3. Spirit had a bit of a quiet game so far. Did make some moves in the earlier stages, but was unable to really translate anything, especially after the double kill bot side. Haru showing us that he should have always been a starter. His performances so far have been very good, actually.
Yeah, absolutely. As Ornn still hasn't upgraded anyone's item.
Well, Lehens doesn't find the hook. The Ram comes in, finds no one. And the Baron's going to reset. Afreeca, success.
This is the enemy team Ornn. Or no, this is your team Ornn.
Yeah, this is definitely your team Ornn.
This is your team
Ornn.
I don't know what's going on.
I think Afreeca have just been raiding a lot of Nax Rammus. They've been doing Heigen. Safety dance.
Okay.
Where you get out of the way of the timings of the bad things.
All right, excellent,
Been doing. Haru gets the Cataclysm onto Spirit. He can flash. Does so to get out. Cube now on the flank with no R button, and therefore isn't going to be able to offer anything. Keen going back on the top side of the map. We'll see what he's actually going to be able to complete here. If it's 3 items for the cannon, it's actually very scary. Just another needlessly large rod to have as much AP as possible for this next fight. He's going to have Rabbiden's death cap completed pretty soon. That'll be frightening times. Molten Edge still on the way for Vista. Cube wanting to get to that level 14 so he can cling to another excuse of relevance this game. So otherwise, it just hasn't been the Ornn's time to shine. But if he's offering, you know, upwards of
you know what? I
gold.
can maybe see why Ornn finally came out of the mountain. Probably wasn't getting any more orders coming in. The delivery truck guy just stopped coming.
Yeah, the forge is going cold.
Oh man.
Yeah, there's a delivery cease.
And that's why the blue Ornn skin exists. It's because he ventured out from the mountain, then he froze.
Yeah, he's like,
There's
it's too
no
cold
one around.
Yeah, my forge. Because he's always got it with
And that's why he can't get a skin. He can't afford it.
Yeah, well, there we go.
There we go. I think we just solved it here on the LCK broadcast.
What we didn't solve.
You know what though?
was
He's
the
getting a
missing of
6th
that
skin, right?
I think so, yeah.
I think they wrote that on Reddit, like the Elderwood.
Oh
Or
yeah.
something. That
Actually,
is
that
really,
one's going
really
to look
cool.
pretty rad. There's the Molten Edge. Has just been completed. Afreeca back into the lead. They had a bit of a trough for, 20 minutes.
They are still behind. The Ornn items are adding gold that isn't present on top, and then also the team composition. Now
that doesn't make sense to me, okay? I'm a play-by-play, and I look at the top of the screen, and the team that has the biggest number is winning, okay?
You're a control deck player.
Oh,
so
that's
just because
true.
you're missing HP doesn't mean you're behind.
Yeah.
There you go.
That means I'm just looking for that one item so I can play
exactly
my combo
board wipe.
Paladin.
See?
So I can just use the holy Wrath.
It's all making sense now, right?
Yeah.
You're low on HP, lay on hands a couple of times, get all the HP back.
I haven't spotted that I've only got one card in my deck.
Exactly, just like they spotted Cube or
exactly. Keen is just dead. So there's nothing that they can do there.
Oh,
The man
no.
drop delivers Fly to his death as well. He immediately tries to get out of there. Not sure what the Ram was doing. And neither was Cuvee, I don't think. But they are going to be able to get the Infernal Soul purely off the back of Keen being in absolutely the wrong place at the wrong time.
And you know what? This Infernal Soul is actually giving the Ornn upgrade for Aphelios almost half a longsword in itself, which is really cool.
Even
It's
more.
a nice stat.
Isn't that
Makes me
great?
excited. I feel like the one person that, like, when you go on a date, you're at the dinner table and you're really excited about like science or space, and like the other person is not happy. You know what I mean? I feel really isolated right now. That's okay.
Is that what you feel?
Yeah.
No, I'm excited about
Yeah, are
it.
you excited?
Longsword?
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
This Baron's about to go down as well, so we're waiting 6 seconds before Kennen can turn up. It's the turn on to Fly, but he's soaking so much of the damage. Mystic goes golden, but that is about the worst possible position for you. Gets flashed after 1,000 gold per attempt, and that might just be the end of the game. In goes Keen into the middle of the team, and I believe he teleported onto a Spiderling, maybe something he doesn't want to do ever again, as Spirit's going to head for the hills. We're looking at another loss for Elise. No one can do what Pioshik was able to do in our previous series. And Hanwha, they're going to take themselves to Baron. There's a crescendo. Still, Aphelios doing a lot of damage to this Baron. We don't even need to worry about it. There are only 2 members of Afreeca alive, and now we're going to have one last reset before Hanwha just put the last nails into this coffin.
Well, here we go. Keen just walking way too close. Perfect Warden. Knocks up the cannon. Grand Skyfall to a grand demise. As again, Keen. Now, I think this is the best Leroy Jenkins. Summit not to be outdone. Take a look at this teleport here.
Oh, there
by
we
Keen.
go.
Instant res into instant. Keen's not really having the best couple of games, actually.
Yeah, certainly hasn't found himself in this one.
Maybe he's getting a little lazy now that he has teammates. Maybe, no, I
mean, he's 80 CS ahead.
Yeah, he is 80, yeah. And you know what? And he basically got himself a solo kill.
Yeah.
As well, in top lane, so. Yeah. Even though there was that 1-2 punch just happened right now. Not the end of the world, as Locket of the Iron Solari is actually going to be the Jarvan item, and then he'll probably get that ornament upgrade.
Yep, level 15 now for Cuvee. Still a couple of upgrades to dole out as this inhibitor turret was there, I think. Not anymore. There's Gravitum and the Calibrum for Vista. Probably the best options, but in goes Haru. Moonlight Vigil finds absolutely no one. And finally, an Ornhorn that does something. Cuvee getting into the backline, finds himself a couple as Fly joins the fight just to die here on the backside. Stops a lot of that damage. The flash forward from Vista. Cool guys don't look at explosions, and the Nexus turrets are going to evaporate. The Nexus will do the same thing, and Afreeca, they're going to need to rethink how they operate themselves in game number 2, because that draft didn't work, and also the gameplay didn't work either.
And I really, really like to see this. Drafts doing what they're supposed to do, and even in the face of an Ornn V5, I don't even know what I would call that. Ornn was not a part of the game. For the
Well, it was
first,
a 4v6.
Yeah, it was 4. There you go. Not 4v7. The Ram was on the enemy team too while you're at it. But eventually,
oh no,
the team composition did what we mentioned that would end up happening. If Pantheon and Elise, Kennen, they don't get ahead, they're not going to have a very good time in this game. So. Also, Aladios doing a lot of things, changing that dragon fight was very big as well.
And I'm pretty sure the Korean casters mentioned that they thought Vista was the best Aphelios so far in the LCK. Last outing. I don't know whether that's entirely correct, but he played very well
Vista
today.
That chained the Aphelios ults with the Ornn?
Yes. Oh
yeah.
no. Well, was that? No, that was aiming. That was the one that we thought. So we thought aiming certainly had it.
Yeah.
However, there were some conversations on the analyst desk in between some matches of Hanwha Life's last match against T1.
That Aphelios set everything up on his own, whereas Vista seems very good at cleaning stuff up.
Yeah.
And taking action after stuff is started.
But also, I mean, the team fight where he had the Crescendum into the Infernum combo of super close range Aphelios play, where you stack up your Chakrams in close range and then you onslaught to bounce a lot of damage and all that sort of stuff. He did it very, very early and was able to get himself a gigantic lead. It's okay. Keep your brain in there. It will be fine. We will be okay. I know this is not what we hire you for, so it's fine.
Take a look at the last one.
Yeah, let's have a look at this one. And honestly, it was pretty much all over, but Haru having a good moment, and Vista not having a great one.
That was the Ornal
missing the
that
ult.
actually did something.
Yeah. So we had a moment where Vista messed up,
Yeah.
and Cuvée did everything right. So actually, we should just give the MVP
everything
to
was just
Cuvée.
fine. Yeah,
Best
there
on
we
we've
go.
seen in the LCK. There we go. Now people are going to watch that play and be like, why were they so mean to Cuvée? Do you know that he's a world champion? How
my
dare
God,
you guys?
Stop. Stop, I'm reading my mentions.
Yeah, I think I was too, actually.
This guy gets everything wrong.
Why is he so stupid? Oh, all right. Well, Kennen did a fair bit of damage, but not when he needed to. He found one team fight. Things are impressive. So there are shades of Keen waiting in amongst the player that's on stage, but he's a shadow of his former self. We want to try and find him in game number 2. Hanwha Life, however, they want to close this one out to even things with Gen G at the top of the standings. If they do so, it will be unprecedented for what our expectations were for LCK 2020. So stay tuned. We'll be back to game 2 right after this.
야, 내 말 안 들어? 너도 말 들어라. 얘들아, 라이프리 잡지 마라, 바로 가라. 아, 재밌잖아. 우리 기움을 잘 주면. 기움을 잘 주면. 자, 이겨줄게, 얘들아, 내 말.